I'm Erik Altieri, the Communications Director for NORML, and I'm here with Governor Gary Johnson, Libertarian candidate for president.
Erik, good job, man. We're on the verge of making legalization happen, and it's going to be Colorado.
And then what I want to talk about is, around 1999, you first came out publicly for the support of marijuana legalization. Was this something you believed for a long time? Was there an impetus to make you finally make this public?
You know, I grew up smoking marijuana. So that as a preface, what I understood right off the bat was that in no category was marijuana more dangerous than alcohol, that it was a terrific alternative to alcohol. Back in 1971, I, in my wildest dreams, did not believe that it would still be illegal, that it would still be criminal, that people would still be going to jail 40 years later. And that's what we have here. So when I launched into this, into legalizing marijuana, I just wanted to take a really hard look at the war on drugs, and I wanted to include legalization as a potential alternative. I had no idea the compelling argument that goes along with legalizing marijuana. So since 1999, it took about a couple of weeks, and it wasn't that it took 2 weeks. Right off the bat, I'm finding statistic after statistic after statistic that would suggest that legalization was a much better alternative, and of course that had to do with Holland at that time. Since then, Portugal has really added fuel to that.
And as you know, tonight's the vice presidential debate. They're probably not going to talk about drug reform. Why do you think that is? And if you have that spot on the stage, what would you like the American people to know about marijuana legalization?
Well, that 90% of the drug problem is prohibition related, not use related. That's not to discount the problems with use and abuse, but that should be the focus. So I think we're at a tipping point on this issue. The reason we're at a tipping point on this issue is because everybody's talking about it, finally. So the more we talk about these issues, the better. Why don't we extend this to a whole lot of other issues that we're facing in this country right now, like spending and the entitlements and the endless wars that we find ourselves intervening in.
And what would voters expect to be done on the drug war within the first year or so of the Johnson presidency?
Well, you'd see, of course, if I'm elected president, who's got the wind at their backs, and what are the people of the United States shouting at Congress? We want meaningful drug reform, and that starts with decriminalizing drugs. It starts with legalizing marijuana.
Would you be looking into descheduling marijuana and perhaps...
I'm promising to deschedule marijuana as a narcotic. I am promising to set up a process for pardoning individuals who have been convicted on victimless, nonviolent drug crime. I'm also pledging to set up a system of review for everybody that is currently incarcerated for those same reasons and would commute those sentences.
With, as you probably know, legalization polling over 50% and decriminalization in the 60s, medical marijuana in the 70s, there are a few politicians other than perhaps yourself, Barney Frank, Ron Paul come to mind, who are openly embracing marijuana legalization and marijuana law reform. Why do you think they're so hesitant to put their foot in the water despite this polling data, which politicians usually live or die by?
Well, it's the root of all evil. The root of all evil are politicians that want to get elected or re-elected, and in the name of getting elected or re-elected, this is the opinion when it comes to marijuana legalization. And these are people with their heads in the sand. They're running for offices that they're supposed to be providing leadership. Well, they're providing no leadership whatsoever on this issue, and on any issue for that matter.
This is Gary Johnson. He is the former two-term governor of New Mexico and the Libertarian for president this year. And check him out at GaryJohnson2012.com, and thank you so much for talking to us.
And NORML, you rock. You rock.